That's gonna be the first thing on this on this pod.
Good.
All right. So we are going to have
Let the games begin.
both ban the mage. Interesting.
Good.
So, refresh me again on the classes that each brought.
So Slimsch will have Hunter, Paladin, and Warlock left. AndyRogers will have Rogue, Warrior, and Paladin. So they'll both have a Warlock and they'll both have a Paladin. Where they're going to differ is the Rogue and Hunter.
Oh, okay. So you're telling me Slimsch is favored.
Nothing can stop me. Nothing.
Oh man, look at that Murloc Raider. Putting in the work.
I appreciate that.
So what are your guys' predictions on what they're going to lead with? Because I think the lead is probably one of the most important aspects of this league.
They
It's
both
just
ban
picking the correct
mage,
class.
and assuming that either of them brought freeze mage, they would probably lead with Paladin as a response of banning mage, right? Like you ban out the deck that you ban out the hardest counter for it, so then you just lead with that deck.
Your soul shall be mine.
Yeah. So AndyRogers bringing Paladin would lead me to assume that his mage is a freeze mage. But then again, you could bring multiple decks for each class. So
Yeah, that is true, but we do know that this Paladin is looking like the mid-range variety.
yeah, and it looks like a Malagos Warlock from Slimsch.
Oh baby, he was talking to me about this last night. He's hyped on this deck, man.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
very strong deck indeed. Yeah.
In his own words, if I draw Malagos, I feel like I've won.
That's pretty much how that deck feels. Because not only does it like allow you to just like combo people, but it also triggers all of your
happy
your, like, dragon predators and
happy
whatnot.
feast of
Yep.
Wintervale.
And also, he has the Hellfire in his opening hand, which is incredibly
you.
important in
Thank
this
you.
matchup.
Thank
Because
you.
one way that you definitely lose is
Well
because like
played.
the mid-range Paladin is going to be able to put on sustained pressure over the course of the game. That's the biggest strength of the deck. But as soon as you're able to Hellfire and start developing your own threats, and the tempo swings in your favor, sometimes it's hard for the mid-range Paladin to swing it back.
Mm-hmm.
So having that Hellfire is incredibly important.
So what I just heard out of your mouth, D-Lyman, for those of us who are on the lower end of the skill in this game, is when the Warlock starts doing Warlock things, it could potentially be favorable.
You draw a second Hellfire too? Oh man.
Yeah, he has a lot of goods in his hand, right? He has the Hellfire, he has the Twilight Guardian, and he has the Twilight Drake. So he has a few options here. Hellfire, in and of itself, doesn't feel particularly strong because it still leaves the mini-bot alive, and it only kills a few 1/1s. I would personally like to see him coin out a Twilight Guardian here.
Agreed.
The Twilight Drake is fine. Either one is fine. I would still prefer the Twilight Guardian because he doesn't have another dragon in his hand.
So he's gonna have to go searching now for that trigger.
Yeah, I mean, it's still very likely that he goes Hellfire next turn, but not having another dragon in your hand, like you'd much rather follow up the Twilight Guardian with the Twilight Drake, and there's no difference in the health of the Twilight Drake because you would have drawn a card on your following turn anyway.
Yeah, like now he's in this awkward spot because like Hellfiring is like even worse than it was last turn.
Yeah. AndyRogers has also a very good hand to deal with whatever Slimsch does. If Slimsch were to put out, say, another Twilight Drake, from Andy's perspective, he has the Aldor Peacekeeper for it. When a Blackwing Corruptor comes down, AndyRogers has the True Silver Champion. So this is looking like a tight game so far, just looking at the two hands.
So many possibilities.
Yeah, and here Slimsch is really feeling the pain of leading Twilight Drake instead of Twilight Guardian. And that may not seem like a huge deal to have it be a 2/6 instead of a 3/6, but that's the difference of being able to Mortal Coil that Keeper of Voldemort.
It also
Yeah.
doesn't give it taunt. Like, he's taking a lot of face damage here, too.
Yep.
Well, it could potentially cost him much more here.
Yeah, so he'll truce over this down and go in with a Zombie Child. Now this is going to get... this is... Slimsch has a response, right? He has the Hellfire and Mortal Coil, and that'll clear up the board and heal him for a net of 2 damage. So we'll go to 20
really
with
crucial. Like, I think this is actually a pretty good turn here. Like, this is the big turnaround point to come back here.
Yeah, for sure. Now, the Emperor here doesn't feel particularly good on the pulling turn because it's only hitting the Soulfire. And ideally, with the Malagos Warlock deck, you want to be able to hit 2 out of the 3 cards of Malagos, Dark Bomb, and Soulfire. Yeah, and that's what enables you to be able to play all 3 in one turn. So if Slimsch is able to pick up one of those other 2 cards here, then Emperor feels incredible.
I could see him considering going Healbot Zombie Chow here, even.
Healbot Zombie Chow is perfectly fine, for sure.
And waiting on the Emperor.
Yeah. He's
Interesting.
gonna opt to Hellfire here in case of Quartermaster shenanigans, and that's fine.
Buying or selling. Well played. Well played. Well played. Well played. Well
Wow, Andy.
The emotes from Andy.
Andy's getting the good old squelch.
So you know what's unfortunate? Andy's on the bottom of my screen, so I can't squelch him.
Oh man,
Gotta
that
switch
is
up.
unfortunate.
Blizzard, please buff the squelch button.
For those watching at home, just know that the well plates are still coming from Mr. AndyRogers.
Oh yeah, they are.
You know he has to feel good with Tyrion sitting there coming into turn 8 and things going the way they are right now.
Yeah, but Slimsch has the owl.
That's
This
for
Emperor
sure.
here still feels premature. I'd much rather see him go play Azure Drake and one of his 1-drops, whichever one. Whichever one is fine. It doesn't matter which one, to be honest. Because again, he will no longer have a 17 damage combo with Malagos this way. And he had other options at his disposal. I mean, the Emperor does contest the Sludge Belcher a bit better, but so does the Azure Drake after you've already played a 1-drop to hit into it.
I wonder. Follow the rule.
So Andy's going to clear this board, which is perfectly fine. He here, even a Blackwing Corruptor, if were to come down, wouldn't be too bad for Andy. It'll kill off a 3/3, but he'd still be left with a Sludge Belcher.
Probably Guardian Healbot most likely this turn. Getting him some life, getting him a decent sized board.
Well, let's see. I wonder how scared he is. If he's running the list, I think he's running. This might have a Brand Bronzebeard in it. I don't think Twilight Guardian Azure Drake is particularly bad. There aren't many things you lose to, and AndyRogers only has 2 cards in his hand. But he opts to go the safe route, which, I mean, both lines are perfectly fine. He'll have the Azure Drake to play next turn, to cantrip in his hand, which is really important since his hand size is pretty low.
Tyrion's gonna be sad when he's told to be quiet.
Yep. The question is, does it happen this turn? Because it doesn't need to be silenced this turn. So instead, Slimsch can play the the Azure Drake and the Imp Gang boss. Because as it stands right now, he doesn't have a way through both the Sludge Belcher and the Tyrion anyway, so he can just deal with the Sludge Belcher this turn and silence the Tyrion next turn. It's also worth considering Another possible line of running the Zombie Chow into the Divine Shield of the Tyrion and just letting it be.
So he is going to elect to silence it this turn.
Yeah, he had the floating mana for it, so...
To get rid of the Divine Shield.
Yeah.
That Cog Hammer is going to be brutal here. He can send the Alder Keeper into the Dragon and then Cog Hammer up the Tyrion.
Yep.
And set his face into it to finish it off.
Yep, and then he'd be able to get a clean kill on that Azure Drake and develop a Sludge Belcher behind it.
Just Tyrion still ends up Divine Shield taunted anyways.
Oh,
They're punished. Yeah, I have to agree that guaranteeing the Divine Shield on the Tyrion is much more valuable than getting it on the Elder Peacekeeper. But there's no justice in the world, so...
Oh, here comes the Harrison Jones.
Got him.
Off the top. The tech gonna get him. What
You see him checking the durability.
That belongs in a museum.
Harrison Jones in Malagos Warlock is very interesting tech choice.
Well, his opponent's also Andy's also bringing Rogue.
That's
so he's
true.
expected to hit the Paladin and the Rogue with it.
That's a very good point. AndyRogers is bringing, yeah, both Paladin and Rogue.
Buying or selling.
Will do. Thank you, Lemur, for the note on the mic.
Yeah, I was just trying to get at you about that.
I don't know what the issue is. It's only through the Skyballs that I have issue with it.
So where are we going from here? Like, where do you see, if you're sitting in Andy's seat?
I see a Murloc Knight that's not going to be contested at all. The thing about these Malagos Warlock decks is that they tend to not run Shadow Flame. Which means that it is remarkably difficult to deal with something like Murloc Knight spam.
And we know that he's used both of his Hellfires already.
So many possibilities.
He's rewarded with the Dark Bomb for tapping.
So here's the thing about using this Dark Bomb now. I mean, he had to do it, but now he's out of a Soulfire. He only has one Dark Bomb left. He still has the Malagos, and he still has a second Twilight Drake, I believe.
Yes.
So
his deck at this point is Malagos, Dark Bomb, Mortal Coil, possibly a second, probably a Bran.
A second Black Corruptor and a Twilight Drake?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he needs to get in repetitive damage with these minions, which is entirely possible. I mean, AndyRogers is looking at an Iron Beak Owl in his hand, so... Armor Plating's not going to do that much here in this matchup.
So he does find his way to another Dark Bomb, but...
Yeah, he probably needs to save that Dark Bomb for for a more valuable spot. He doesn't have a dragon in his hand for that Corruptor. Question is, does he want to tap for it? Because he's only at 5 cards in hand, and I think he can afford to. Because he has 2 dragons left, so it's a 40%, which I think is fine odds to take. To get the Blackwing Corruptor, so you can squeeze in 4 damage here. Oh.
None may steal
Yeah, so Andy still has a Quartermaster in his hand, so he definitely values keeping that 1/1 alive over.
Sorry guys, I had to step away there for a second. teleporter walking into my house.
Bird. Alright, so you got the Malagos, which means that this Keeper Voldemort is dead. Slimsch with the BGH is going to be really important when Dr. Boom comes down because AndyRogers has nothing in his hands. So if he doesn't get a lay on hands at some point, he's going to be in a really, really bad spot because playing only one card a turn is going to kill him if he draws, say, Dr. Boom, for instance.
Are we going to see the Malagos come down and once again losing the Corruptor trigger? Yep.
I think that's fine. I think that's perfectly fine. Malagos... I mean, the Blackwing Corruptor wasn't getting that much work done anyway. And he still has the Twilight Drake in his deck. And AndyRogers is, you know, he's only drawing, he's top decking at this point. So the odds of Blackwing Corruptor hitting something for high value was pretty low, but we do see the Paladin Shredder get drawn.
And he should still have another Twilight Drake in his deck as well to turn it back on.
Right.
Or another Blackwing Corruptor.
Okay, so I'd like to see him possibly start clearing off a couple of these larger minions. Hope that he doesn't draw a Quartermaster, and maybe even just play a naked Blackwing Corruptor.
Agreed.
Don't want to see him use this 8 damage Dark Bomb on a minion.
So many possibilities.
Yeah, you want to kill the Shredder first because you might still have to say Dark Bomb a Doomsayer.
Going for the maximum value on the heal bot here, trying to kill as many things as possible. And he elected not to play a Corruptor, so that tells me he does have the other Twilight Drake.
Right, and also, well, the Corruptor just dies to the Paladin Shredder.
Right.
Immediately.
He's going to be juggling dudes. Let's see if he gave him his Christmas bonus. Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, he finished top of his class.
Child's play. Alright, so now Slimsch in his weak-ass play last turn gets extremely punished. Because now he has a trash board. AndyRogers is gonna have his board just run wild all over Slimsch's face, and Slimsch is gonna have to sit there and take it. Unless he say Dark Bombs this 4-3, which feels bad but might just have to happen. I don't envision a world where he doesn't Dark Bomb this Paladin Shredder, and I also don't envision a world where he doesn't play both Bran and Blackwing Corruptor here.
I wield the power.
It's almost like you can see the future, D-Lyman.
Slimsch knew we'd get there.
So there is that boom, but he's got the big game hunter in hand.
Yeah, he has a big game hunter in hand. Now the thing here is that the Dr. Boom here is much better than it would have been otherwise because AndyRogers has a board behind it. The worst case scenario would have been that AndyRogers in top deck mode plays a naked Dr. Boom. Well, the Boom bots are with it, obviously, but plays the Dr. Boom and gets answered by BGH and more pressure. But that's not quite a problem here. Slimsch is out of heal bots, so this Grand Bronze Spirit is actually just not a threat. Like, it's just straight up not a threat. The biggest thing that this brand is going to do is Slimsch is going to draw a Twilight Drake next turn, and it's going to be a 4-8. But that's, like, not that big of a deal.
It also turns on the Blackwing. Like, he gets to Blackwing Corruptor and 6 AndyRogers' face, and then make a 4-8 dragon. Or 4-6 dragon.
Right, well, yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. But even that is not that big of a deal, right? Like, taking 6 versus 3. In fact, if he Blackwings first, then that Twilight Drake is a 4-6
Nice.
instead of a 4-8.
Yep. I don't know. Like, I'd almost start pushing. Like, I would consider just BGH the Doctor Boom, and then like play Twilight Drake and Argent Abusive Sergeant, and just push face. Like, I think he just has to put him dead at this
Yeah,
point.
it's probably more important to play the Twilight Drake instead of the Blackwing Corruptor for sure. Just for durability's sake, right? Because now this Twilight Drake is going to be a 4-4 at best, a 4-2 now.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
Alright, what can AndyRogers do here? Like, what can he draw? Does he have... He might not be running 2 equalities, but equality is exactly what he needs. He already
Yeah,
played...
equality is really strong here.
Has he used both of his consecrates? Or consecrations?
He's used one.
Yeah, he used one. Consecration would be just fine here as well, assuming that the boom bots are favorable.
Hopefully this guy's Shrine to RNGs is going.
Alright. Can he live? Yes, he can. He can definitely live.
He has to have some good boombot triggers, but with his luck that he's had so far this game, wouldn't surprise me.
The boom bots kill both the BGH and the Blackwing Corruptor. Then we're going places with this game.
Oh! Oh!
Oh!
We can still do it.
We believe in the boombots.
Never lucky.
Believe in the boombots.
Yeah, even if it hit Blackwing Corruptor for 1.
To arms, men!
He's not in a great position.
The victory is yours.
Alright, so round 1 is going to go to Mr. Slimsch and his Warlock.
So I guess Hunter and Paladin left.
Yes.
Correct.
So what do you think he's going to go with here? He has Hunter and Paladin facing off against Paladin, Rogue, and Warlock.
If I were Slimsch, I think I would be afraid to get stuck with the Hunter being the class that needs the win. How do you guys feel about that?
So we don't know what kind of Hunter it is. I would assume that he has a Face Hunter deck ready. I think you want to get in with a Face Hunter now, before, say, the Warlock or the Rogue escape.
So we're going to see the Paladin mirror.
Oh, good. This will be fun. We'll see whose consecration gets more value, and that person is going to be the one who wins the game.
Harrison Jones showing up again in Slimsch's Paladin deck.
Happy Feast of Wintervale.
Actually, with him banning
Happy Feast of Wintervale.
the mage, technically Warlock, AndyRogers Warlock deck could be running Draxus, and then you can
It could be, for sure.
get value off of it there, which slight chance, but possible.
Oh man, the Harrison mirror. What a game we're playing here. This zombie child has to go into Divine Shield, right? Like, it just has to. Right? It's gotta.
No, it does not have to, apparently.
Because the
He
thing
says
about the
taunt.
zombie child is that even if you're assuming, right? Like, let's say you're assuming that there's a chance that he muster for battles, right? And that goes into the zombie child anyway. Like, the zombie child heals him for 5. And the only difference is that Slimsch's Shield Unibot has the option of where else it wants to go.
Happy Feast
Andy
of Wintervale.
is going to throw one of those 2 consecrations at him.
Yeah, I mean, he gets rewarded here, for sure, but I still don't agree with the play. It's a low odds that you don't run into the Divine Shield, and that ends up just being better for you. So he's going to go with the second muster for battle here, which means that in 2 turns, Harrison Jones can draw 2 cards. In fact, Harrison Jones can draw 3 cards next turn.
He's just not going to get that quartermaster play that he wants.
So how do you feel about that consecration?
I feel like it was needed. I mean, I think Andy's scared of the quartermaster and very well kind of gets rewarded by it. But
Well, here's a thought to throw out there. What if he just killed a 1/1 and then keep Voldemort his zombie chow?
Let me think.
That still leaves a 3/3 on board, though, after the quartermaster play.
Well, the quartermaster still gets him 2/3/3s, but he also has 3 attack minions to contest with it.
True. Yeah, and the keeper lives.
The keeper would die to one
To the Light's Justice.
right. But the main difference is that you still have consecration.
Yeah, he's gonna get 4 off of this, Harrison, if he chooses to go with it here.
And he has to, right? He got him.
All max value. Let's go. Draw all the cards.
As good as it's gonna get.
Alright, so as much as I hated the zombie child not going into the divine shield, this zombie child did hit him like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, it definitely made up for its 5 points of healing.
All's well ends well.
Never punished.
Aldor Peacekeeper here. Probably fine. If you go Aldor Peacekeeper and say Minibot or Muster, whichever one you prefer. I'd prefer the Minibot for sure.
I almost like just playing a Belcher and then killing the quartermaster.
Yeah, I think that's the other option that might actually just be better.
And the only way that really gets is if Slimsch also has an Aldor Peacekeeper, and it's not even that punished.
Yeah, the big thing about this line of play is that it's very vulnerable to consecration. It's very vulnerable to consecration. At the very least, a 3/3 survives. A 3/1 would survive, but
When was the last time you guys saw 2 Light Justices, Harrison Jones, in the same game?
man, THL.
THL, that's fine this here, ladies and gentlemen. D Lyman, do you have a little robot action coming from Josh, or is that just on my end?
Oh, I got robot action coming from Joss. I mean, it's fine. I understand that the Android apocalypse is upon us. All right, so now looking at these 2 players' hands, this game it's heavily in AndyRogers' favor, right? Because his board has initiative over Slimsch's board, and Slimsch still does not have a consecration in his hand.
I mean, Slimsch is almost halfway through at this point and doesn't try a consecration. If he does a consecration, he gets a consecration quality value. I mean, he doesn't need it now that the board is.
Right, how do you guys feel about the Shielded Maybot over the Knife Juggler there? And he's playing around Consecration, obviously.
I prefer it, because the next turn he can go Knife Juggler Muster for battle.
It's the truth. That is the truth. And, yeah, and also playing around Consecration makes loads of sense.
Absolutely.
What do you do in this case if you're Slimsch?
If you're Slimsch, you play Dr. Boom and pray, right? Because nothing else is impactful enough. And you can't play the Leon hands just to let him keep smacking you around in the face, you know? And play more minions on his board. I mean, you're hoping that your Leon hands would yield you a consecration, but you'd also overdraw one.
So is he gonna follow us up with the Belcher now? Yeah.
Absolutely. That was the other option that he had, and this just keeps him from taking as much damage. Oh, interesting.
This scared ass play.
D Lyman, why you pulling the punches, D Lyman? Scared ass play.
Like, just man up and play Dr. Boom. Like, what the fuck, man?
Oh man.
He's gonna get a lot of knives here though, because he'll be able to knife juggle and muster for battle and kill off his Harrison Jones and be able to play his hero power
Reporting
behind it to get another knife.
Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty.
Man.
Yeah, so you can kill off the Harrison Jones and hero power again. I'd like to see him run that Harrison Jones into the Aldor Peacekeeper though. Because ideally you'd want the knife to kill that so that you don't have to like run your face into it. Oh, you can run the mini-bot into it, I guess.
Where is this consecration? Oh my god. It exists. I'm sure
What's
of it.
funny is that he just doesn't even need it yet either.
Yeah.
So now Dr. Boom feels terrible. Because Slimsch is looking at 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12 damage on board. He would just need a true silver to win. So you gotta clean up this board here. I mean, you could go Knife Juggler, Dr. Boom, and
So hope for the sweet juggles.
yeah, but that's a bit optimistic.
Orange Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah, Sludge Belcher behind a couple more 1/1s is much more stable.
Oh, that juggler.
Got him.
Pew pew. The sniper.
Yeah. Yeah, you go ahead and take this hit in. Set you up for a better consecration when you get there.
He's got to be coming up on it. You know, he's halfway through his deck.
Yeah.
We haven't seen one yet. You
Save
guys,
that keeper, hold him on for a bigger threat.
yeah.
I wonder.
So if you're Andy, this is an awkward situation to parse, but I really don't think he needs to use D quality. I am very strongly opposed to using that equality when you haven't seen a consecration yet from Slimsch.
Yeah, so that will allow Slimsch to hold on to his own equality should he draw this consecration. And these jugglers, man, just going back and forth.
There's that, and there's also the equality did a net of what damage to his board, like 6. And you still had knives coming anyway. Like, the equality did a net of 6 damage to the board, and he just dealt 5 damage into his face. That could have adequately gone to minions and saved you an equality. You know what I mean?
Well, at least he finally got his consecration.
Yep.
Taking their turns, lay on handsing.
Yeah, so here's a thought. You could have stabbed into that mini bot before you went lay on hands.
Yeah, gotten the health
That
back.
was a mistake.
This Slim's just letting him know.
But he's never gonna be punished because this game has no justice. But he is gonna be punished for that shitty equality. What? No, Slimsch, get the fuck out of here. Just play a true silver champion. Are you serious? Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. What is with these weak ass equalities? Your true silver, like, you could have just left that alive, bro. You could have just left the slime alive and saved your equality, bro.
Oh man.
Put your faith
Out of
in
here.
the light.
Out of here.
Somebody,
For duty.
somebody unleashed the D lineman. Forget the imbulk.
Yeah. Alright, so this Tyrion Fordring is gonna get keepered, right? Question is what happens behind it.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Sludge Belcher is probably his best option to follow it up.
Wouldn't have minded the Pilot's Shredder and a hero power. being able to squeeze in those hero powers
Pay
is going
off in the
very
long run.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially since you're getting 2/1/1s from the Meech. And you'd only be looking at 4 damage on your board. Um, the Paladins generally have issues coming up with 7 damage from hand. Although,
Yeah.
the one thing to look out for, that Ironbeak Owl, he could use it on his own Tyrion if he needs that damage.
Reporting for duty.
Got him.
Wow.
Just rewarded. Never punished. It's always rewarded.
No, you're never punished in this game, ever. Always lucky.
Yep.
And this is where he gets punished for
That
using
earlier
quality
consecration.
Yeah, I bet you wish you had an equality in your hand, Slimsch. I hope you're watching this back. And I hope that you reflect on your actions from 2 turns ago.
Go sit in the corner and think about what you've done.
I want you to go in the bathroom, I want you to look in the mirror, and I want you to tell yourself, you're fucking trash.
There it is. I was wondering what was gonna happen. Hey, we made it almost to the end of game 2, guys, before he dropped the fucking trash. So Andy's gonna pick up the win on the Paladin. So now we've got a Warlock and a Rogue left for Andy, and a Hunter and a Paladin left for Slimsch.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to see the Rogue come out now, right? Because you can't let that Paladin escape.
Nah.
Because if he has Hunter and Paladin left, like if that Paladin escapes, that Rogue is done, right?
So if you're Slimsch, do you come out with the Hunter now?
I think you've gotta. I mean, from Andy's perspective, Andy can't afford to mind games this pick, right? Because the consequence of being wrong is you lose the matchup immediately. So
You just lose.
yeah, so Slim's just like has to recognize that Rogue is coming out and play Hunter.
Oh man, look at Slimsh's hand here. 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, 4 drop.
I believe they call that a curve. I'm sure if Cassie were here, he would inform us that this is why you play Paladin.
This is exactly why you play Paladin.
Did he just toss a Violet Teacher in his opening hand against a mid-range Paladin? Get the fuck out of here, AndyRogers. You lose this game.
Happy Feast
outta
of
here.
Winter.
Happy Feast of Wintervale, champion.
If you're Andy, do you backstab the Chow here?
No, I don't think you do, because you're looking at, like, next turn, what is Slimsh's likely turn to, right? It's either going to be a Knife Juggler or a Mini-Bot, so that gets backstabbed, and then you SI and clean off the rest, if it's a Knife Juggler. The Mini-Bot's not as clean of a kill, but, like, it's still fine. You can still do something similar and have a 3-3 contest that Zombie Chow.
Right.
You can actually just have the 3-3 contest the 2-2 mini-bot instead. Which is
So
just,
many
like, strictly better, almost.
Yeah, you pop the shield and you kill a zombie Chow.
This guy's
Andy elects not to.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, Kev.
reporting for duty.
Right.
I don't know if
Andy, always rewarded is going to top deck the Phantom Knights here.
Always rewarded. Yeah, so this is like Rogue at its finest right now, right? So remember when he had the Violet Teacher in his hand?
And how great that would be right now?
And he threw it away? Yeah. Like, imagine being able to Violet Teacher prep anything. Like, just anything at all. Yeah. But instead, you know what's going to happen? He's going to kill off a 1-1, he's going to play a naked SI, or he's just going to re-dagger, and then he's going to sulk and just take it from this Paladin. Yep. Just take it. Go ahead, don't show him any respect. Coin out this Quartermaster. Be a man.
Coin out the quartermaster here, followed up with Belcher next turn.
Nope, he doesn't want to be a man yet. That's fine. We all need to grow up sometime. It's just not Slimsch's day.
Oh man. D Lyman's brutal. Absolutely brutal. I love it.
Yeah, so here.
Oh, the book's been unleashed in the chat.
Uh-oh. D Lyman's been unleashed on the stream.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, so here AndyRogers had the potential to have an incredibly unbalanced turn. The only problem is that he didn't have the Violet Teacher to make it happen. Take it. Just take it. Always punished, man. Kill 1/1 first. Always punished. Hearthstone's a great game.
Oh man. Ladies and gentlemen, he'll be here all night.
Just take it, Rogue. Like, I know that I talk a lot about how bad I think Rogue is, but in all reality, I don't think Rogue is that bad. It's just that Rogue players are bad. Rogue is
that. I feel like the games that I like, because I've been playing a lot of Rogue recently, just because I haven't ever played it, and it's just I need to learn how to play this class. And like, I took a deck and I was at like 10% win rate with it for a solid week, and I think I'm up to about 40, like I get solid 40%. And it's just like I can see like the little improvements and little itsy bitsy things that I've been making mistakes with. That add up, like one little mistake at the very beginning of the game can totally mess up, like only getting a violent teacher and then not having it on turn 4 against the paladin. Like little things like that that just completely make or break the entire match.
Does he man up and coin boom here? I mean, coin's going to lose value over time here.
Think you absolutely do it. Yeah, but I mean, that sounds like you're a good role player.
He's a good role player? He's going to be a filthy role player next season.
No, he's a good rogue player. Good rogue. The only difference is that you're not the field, and the field is trash.
That's fair.
So look at what rogues have to deal with when they throw away Violet Teachers. They have to do things like Blade Flurry at Dr. Boom and then run into it with your face. This is what rogues have to deal with.
Doesn't feel good.
Doesn't feel good. And you know what? He's gonna hate doing that so much. He's just gonna anti-Keelbot and pray.
And the Belcher's gonna come down and punish.
Yep.
Detrucy is asking if he went offline. Make sure the stream's still up.
The stream is still up.
Yeah, the stream's good.
Yeah, Detrucy's on something. Look at that. Look at that. Rogue plays.
This just a Belcher hero power hit his face. Set up lethal for next turn with the True Silver.
Yeah, Belcher hero power. Show him no respect. Show him no respect.
Reporting for duty.
Brunson is on the Andy automatically wins this because he's playing Rogue.
No, Brunson, you should be ashamed of your rogue compatriot.
And then I'd like to see the Shredder come down here.
It doesn't matter what Slimsch does. He just plays anything in his hand. And just
And then he
proceeds to win the game.
Yeah.
Now, how do you guys feel about the fact he traded there?
Oh, I think it's correct. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, the out that Andy does have is having a minion survive and being able to pull off something stupid with, like, say, like a sprint into prep Tinker's Blade Flurry. And you can't let that happen. Like, you're so far ahead, so just take the highest percentage out to win.
So let's play the Shredder again.
Yeah, look at this Violet Teacher. I bet this Violet Teacher wishes she was there on turn 4. It's like, as a rogue, you don't have... The thing about, like, a lot of classes that do toss away 4-drops in their opening hand is that those same classes have a lot of things to play in the first 3 turns.
Right.
Rogue does not have that. Rogue needs to have that Violet Teacher on turn 4. That is what they play for, especially against a Paladin. That is the most impactful card in the Paladin matchup that's not Blade Flurry or Fan of Knives. And when
That's gonna be
guarantee having it on turn 4 with a backstab at that, then you take it.
So Slimsch does find that Pally win that he so much needed there.
Yeah.
And it leaves Andy with the Warlock and the Rogue up against the Hunter. I can't help but to feel like we're going to see the Warlock here.
The Warlock from Andy.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. I mean, yeah, because tiebreakers matter. So even though Andy is incredibly unfavored to win this match at this point, he can at least
Earn the maximum amount of points you can earn while losing.
right.
It does indeed look like Slimsch is going to be doing all the face damage.
Yeah.
Listen, there's a Leper Gnome. Where there's Leper Gnome, there's face damage.
And Zombie Chow in turn 1. That's huge in this matchup. That is incredibly huge. Because he has the Zombie Chow and the Molten Giant, which means that he can quell damage to the point that when he plays Molten Giant, he'll have the mana left over to also do other impactful things, right? Because being able to go Molten Giant, Healbot, and Taunt is the dream for a Warlock. And the Zombie Chow is going to be able to help him make it to turn 7 and make that happen. Another thing to look out for is that AndyRogers opted against tossing away that Zombie Chow, which I was concerned because I was under the impression that his preferred line of play was tossing away the best card in each matchup in the mulligan.
Got him! Ouch!
Got him.
Wow.
This Demon Wrath off the top after tapping is going to be really big here.
Yeah, and I am incredibly against that trade-in instead of going to seeing where this knife goes. Like, obviously, he's able to squeeze in a couple of more knives, but at what cost, right? Because even if you don't see the Demon Wrath coming, AndyRogers still has the coin, so you could coin out the Hellfire. Obviously, Knife Tripler, Hero Power. At this point, the Hunter's MO is to squeeze in the Hero Power every turn.
Yep.
Because you don't expect your minions to stick. Like, that's just not a reality.
Oh man, and the heal bot.
And the heal bot, he can even afford to tap because he's at so much life, and he does really want to get to one of his 2 taunt givers. Because now we're putting him on Reno Warlock, right? Since we saw the Demon Wrath, we see the Mind Control attack. So he only has 1 Sun Fury and he only has 1 Arcus.
So I'd be surprised if we don't see the heal bot here.
Oh, I'd be incredibly surprised.
I was expecting to see Molten.
That was so bad. Because like you have at 6 mana, the Hunter's not doing a damn thing to threaten lethal against him at 15 health and only 4 damage on his board. He's not pulling out 11 damage with that.
This lets him set up the Shadow Flame turn though.
So does Dark Peddler, right? Like Dark Peddler gives you a 1-drop that you can Shadow Flame.
Buying or selling.
But the difference here is that now you're not going to be able to play Molten Giant on the back of Healbot. You play Molten Giant on the back of dying the following turn. And here you kill the Worgen Infiltrator because the Leper Gnome can be silenced, but AndyRogers likes to take the least likely route to win the game, so he's probably going to run into the Leper Gnome.
I can't even. I just can't even, man.
Because like the thing about the Leper Gnome, and it's kind of nuanced. I remember when I first started playing the game, I was like, oh my gosh, this Leper Gnome has a death rattle, I better kill it, right? But when you actually stop and think about it, that's just like strictly incorrect, because the only difference between the Leper Gnome and the Worgen Infiltrator is that the Leper Gnome has a death rattle that can be, say, silenced away or stolen if somehow he gets the mind control tech down, right? So you just take 2 extra damage that is going to come no matter when you kill it, because it's not like that 2 damage escalates ever.
So we are going to see, it looks like they unleash the hounds here.
I like to see like Unleash the Hound's Mad Scientist hero power, with one of the hounds killing a bot.
I'll show them all.
Alright, so now Andy has lethal easily. He has double power overwhelming. Never punished.
Never punished.
Engaging TC-130 into dislocator.
Andy's a gift. Wow.
You don't deserve to be him.
Oh man.
Does not have the right to be him in this game.
We should get one more mana to Shadow Flame the hound. Just to get him.
So it is going to come down to the hunter and the rogue.
Yep, I was talking with Slimsch earlier, and he said that he wouldn't be surprised if it came down to one match to make or break whether or not he got the win or not. And I feel like he was talking about that the Paladin Rogue matchup.
Yeah, I also wouldn't have been surprised if it came down to the rogue trying to find a way to win a game.
Well, at least there's no Violet Teacher for him to throw away this time.
Yeah, he doesn't have to make the tough decision of throwing away one of the best cards in the matchup again.
Oh, that's okay. He'll just ship like the Eviscerate.
I think you toss the
There it is.
Eviscerate and the Azure Drake. I think you keep the prep because you like need the prep against the Face Hunter, because you need to be able to play a minion at some point, and you can't do that if you're using spells to clear their board. So the prep allows you to do both, and then once you have a minion on the board, it allows you to kill his minions while also developing the few threats that you have in your deck, and like you need to be able to let that happen. You know.
Ooh, he's gonna feel good about that backstab coming off the top.
Yeah, he can backstab and kill this.
He can clear up here.
Which is fine. I think it's worth it to do it now instead of say taking the extra damage to wait on Coin Violet Teacher backstab. I think it's definitely better to use it there. All right.
Strong there.
So here, yeah, some options. I honestly wouldn't mind seeing Coin Violet Teacher here.
Agreed.
Now, here's the big risk with Coin Violet Teacher.
It will get cleared off immediately.
Well, there's that. I mean, we see the answer in Slimsch's hand. The second thing is Kill Command. So in light of considering the Kill Command possibility, and also obviously the Abusive Sergeant, I mean, Sap is probably better. He's gonna be so glad he has Violet Teacher.
It is a good card. We talked about this.
It's a really good card.
AndyRogers doesn't think it's a good card.
AndyRogers hates that card. Why does he even have it in his deck? Just put in the Chillwind Yeti.
Strictly better. The 4/5.
I bet if it were a Chillwind Yeti, he would have kept it in his opening hand. So the Misha just comes right back down. And
we replayed the last turn.
Yeah, so he goes for the Sludge Belcher.
He hates Violet Teacher.
Over the low step. I think that
no.
it's probably fine to coin out a 5-drop since you have a second 5-drop in your hand, and then on turn 6 you can say Violet Teacher Eviscerate or Violet Teacher Blade Flurry if you really need to. But I probably would have preferred the Lotheb because if you're thinking about last turn, right? He chose to sap the 4/4 instead of coining out the Violet Teacher. The reason why you would do that is if you're worried about the Violet Teacher being cleared by something. If you're afraid of that, then you coin out the Lotheb, right? Because the Lotheb gets cleared by the same stuff, except that he couldn't use spells, so he would need to have the Abusive Sergeant. Whereas the Sludge Belcher just dies to the same stuff, and you lose the coin instead of losing the Violet Teacher.
Yep.
So many options.
For this being turn 5, like Andy's at a pretty high life total.
He is. He definitely is, and he has the Tinkers and the Blade Flurry, so he has some burst potential. If he's able to say get a prep or is able to continue staving off damage. It looks like he's going to go with Sap Eviscerate over the Lotheb. Typically against a Face Hunter, the thing about Rogue against a Face Hunter is that it a lot of the times resembles a race. And a lot of times you need the Eviscerate to win that race. So I probably would have gone with the Lotheb, but I think that the play is close. I'm not. I can't confidently say that one is better than the other.
The cavalry's here. Get in there and fight, maggot.
Oh baby, this is gonna be
Every time.
This is gonna be a huge turn. Yeah, you just go Violet Teacher, backstab Blade Flurry. It leaves him with a 2-1, but that's fine.
Attention, class.
Yeah, so at this point, Slimsch just goes ham on Andy's face, and
Hope he gets there.
he probably will. I mean, he's still sitting at 30 health. And the Blade Flurry means a loss of a lot of potential damage. You know what he could do? He can just kill off the Abusive Sergeant and Redagger.
I think I like that. Ugh. Like, especially when you have the oil in your hand.
Yeah, because again, this match was a race, right? So that Blade Flurry is a difference. Like using it there.
I would hero power over quick shot here.
Absolutely, yeah, you absolutely hero power over quick shot. Yep. Got him. Yeah, don't respect the Violet Teacher at all. Just go face with everything. You got it. You got it, baby. Yeah. So AndyRogers gets a clear on this Argent Horse Rider. Now here's the thing. AndyRogers doesn't have the goods to win the game next turn. So it actually feels incredibly bad to proc that secret. Typically against a hunter, you want to proc the secret when you're going to win next turn and him getting an extra dagger, an extra weapon charge doesn't matter. But not sure if Andy can even afford to do that. I think he can. He can play the Lotheb, dagger up, and pass. This game's definitely going to go 2 more turns, and after redamage would make the difference. Hero Power Pass just feels ugly, but...
I think it's the only way about it right now.
Yeah. It is what it is. When you're sitting at 29 health, AndyRogers has 2 cards in hand. What you're mostly worried about is if one of them is a sprint and he gets a prep out of it. But luckily for Slimsch, that's not the case. But if you're going to play against your opponent's outs to win, then it's fair to consider. But Unleash the Hounds doesn't do enough to make that a worthwhile decision. I think that it's fine to hit him with the weapon here, because, yeah.
You want to play around Belchers and things.
You gotta play around Belchers. You gotta, if he doesn't have Belcher, you win anyway. And if he does have Belcher, you'd be glad you hit him in the face. Okay, so now here's the spot now where you recognize that Slimsch's hand is both spells. You know that to be true, since he did nothing last turn. And the only spells in the Face Hunter's deck are Kill Command, Unleash the Hounds, and Quick Shot, and Animal Companion. Those are the only spells. You can't beat any of those spells except for him bricking
This
on
guy's
Animal
toast.
Companion. So what you need to have happen is him having Animal Companion and Quick Shot, and the Quick Shot draws him nothing useful.
Is that, I think, is this lethal here? That's
Yes.
7, 8, 9.
Got
Yeah.
him.
Well played.
So Slimsch will get out
Remain undefeated.
of another one-seat battle, still with 0 losses. Still putting up that argument that he is the THL MVP.
Yep.
But credit to Andy. I mean, he made a battle out of
He did. Unfortunately, he had Rogue in his lineup instead of any other class.
it. So would that be your official analysis, D. Lyman, that where Andy went wrong was bringing a Rogue?
Now, well, I'd say Andy went wrong by bringing Rogue, but not because Rogue is bad, but because I think he just needs more work with it. I think that I mean like I don't mean to like be too harsh, but it felt like he didn't have a good handle on how Rogue is meant to win, specifically the Paladin matchup.
I would agree with that.
And that that directly led to him losing that matchup, right? Like obviously he didn't have a fan of knives, which would have been really useful for him. Like that's like that goes without saying. But he would have been in a much better spot had he made a few different decisions, especially the most critical one, which was throwing away that Violet teacher. I think he played that Hunter matchup fine. Like there were a couple things that I probably would have done differently, but like the plays were really close. But that Paladin matchup was huge, and he needed to win that one, and he didn't put himself in a position to do so.
Well, in the best case, looking at it from the best case scenario kind of point of view, at least he did get the two wins for his team in his loss. And this is the first matchup between the Gosu Casuals and the Harry Generals. As we said before, a lot of this matchup, as we discussed in Tavern Talk, will be kind of decided in the lower seats as favorable matchups with. I believe we have, who is it? Detrucci sitting in the 5 seat, as well as. I actually believe this is one of the more entertaining 5 seat matchups to look at. Yeah, Detrucci against Eli is going to be a throwdown. And it's one that I think if the Harry Generals want to win this one, Detrucci's got to come through in a big way. And also, Jedi is separated by 2 points from Adam in the 3 spot. And Boom Boom Hall and Jing are exactly tied, sitting in the 2 spot. So the 4 and 5 spot are really going to be the deciding factors in this matchup, as any other matchup can really just go either way. But definitely a tip of the hat to Slimsch. Awesome way to start playoff weekend. Tip of the hat to Josh and D. Lyman here for coming through on short notice to actually bring some analysis to this matchup that's worthwhile. I probably would have sat here and made jokes the whole time, or
Glad to
just
help.
made calls that were jokes unintentionally. Guys, any party thoughts for the folks before we cut the stream off?
Bring Rogue, get fucked.
Bring Rogue, get fucked. Yeah, this is a good way to put it. I think just being prepared, knowing your lineups, knowing your matchups, knowing how you win matchups, I think are really key. Lots of testing, guys. You want to come out and pull ahead. Know your decks inside and out. Because I think that's really where Andy struggled in this.
Yeah, but definitely a solid effort from him. All right, guys, if you have any interest in getting your playoff match streamed this week, get to myself, get to Slimsch, get to Cassidy, get to Mr. Josh Sampson, Mr. D. Lyman. You've got casting abilities, right? Streaming abilities.
Yeah, man.
Get to us, guys. Let's get more of these matchups up here. I'd like to see as many of these playoff matches as we can, as I expect them all to be as exciting as this one. Hopefully, we won't see too many 3-0s. And even the 3-1s, I hope they're close. Until we see you guys again, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you're there Thursday, 8 o'clock for Tavern Talk. And we will be posting on the random streams that are going to be happening this week for the playoffs.